I promised myself I'd write every day, even if it's just one sentence, one word. But I've been ignoring those reminders because my mind remained blank. Finally find the courage to pick up my pencil, grab my book, yet I choose not to stain it with mediocrity, for the art of storytelling seems lost to me. I no longer conjure up metaphors or similes to personify the thoughts that are no longer alive. My life is an oxymoron, interestingly dull. I try to rhyme because maybe, just maybe, if I produce something catchy that you can stomach me, that maybe, just maybe, you'll choose to listen to the babbles I force out in hopes that maybe, just maybe, after all this gibberish, I'll produce something worth calling another masterpiece. So the second piece is a piece that I wrote a while ago, and then I kept it hidden, and I chose to not look back at it. I performed it more than once, but during that time, it was my time going through like a hard time mentally, and just kind of putting myself out there in a vulnerable way, talking about my depression as being Muslim, my depression, reflection of me being black. See, it all started off with a simple statement: you don't seem depressed. But what does that even mean? How does depression look, feel, sound? Can you look at the person next to you and tell? My depression is something I can no longer utter out loud. A heart built to swallow, I begin to doubt my sanity or lack of it. For how can I begin to admit to not being happy when I have everything? So I ignore all that I'm feeling to satisfy. Now who am I really satisfying? People who would much rather I suffer alone to bring shame to a name that I don't identify as a disgrace. For it is believed that the status of one's mental health is mutually exclusive to one's ethnicity and religious beliefs, that it's impossible to be anything but sane. Black people don't get depressed. As if the color of my skin makes me inhuman, as if the color of my skin makes me immune to an illness that has the power to break one's willfulness, one's resolve to stay alive. As if I have no right to feel because I am not human. There is no escape that can be found. I'm sentenced to the worst type of imprisonment of drowning in the sea of my thoughts. Pushed and pulled, dancing against the currents, I spiral round and round and round. I sink deep into my depression until there's nothing left but a lifeless body that the water spits out. A momentary calm before I'm taken back. Leave me alone. I see the words of disapproval that are plastered across their faces the only time that they acknowledge that I'm not okay. But sometimes acknowledgement is not a good thing, not when all they want to do is fix you, fix me. But how can they fix the type of broken that they don't want to understand? It's gotten to the point where I don't bother vocalizing my distaste for life, because if I do, it's the same old stories, religious scriptures stuffed down my throat. God is the answer, have faith and it will all go away. Now all you have to do is pray. So I pray and pray. Yet it seems my prayers remain unanswered, and slowly my faith in anything begins to wither. I no longer bother with prayer, convincing myself that there is no cure, that I am the problem. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, leave me alone. To my miseries, for you will never understand. That's just a problem. You don't seem to understand that you cause more harm than good. That your refusal to admit that it's okay to feel, to being human, that unlearning is part of healing and growing. And I'm not saying that God is not the answer or prayer is not important. But the status of my mental health is not synonymous with my level of piety, making me unworthy of God's love. And no, Satan does not control my mind. The color of my skin does not make me less than. I was not made to hold in, to carry more, to not explode, to suffer in silence. Now I will not suffer in silence, and you should not suffer in silence. So the next time somebody tries to stop you from feeling, from being human, look them in the eyes and say, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. To my miseries, for you will never understand that you were part